First of all, I want to give the honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. We're going back into the lesson. We're back in the Torah, all right? All right, we got to get the laws in these last days, right? The law is the milk, okay? We're going to Leviticus 14th chapter, right? Dealing with various form of leprosy, okay? That's what we're finna get into, right? So let's don't waste no time on it, all right? Let's get on it. Let's go to Leviticus 14:1, right? Leviticus 14:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, this shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest. Verse 3, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper. Verse 4, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood and scarlet and hypso. Verse 5, and the priest shall command that one of the bird be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. Right, meaning it has to be done the right way, right? Verse 6, as for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hypso, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. Meaning life is inside of the blood. Leviticus 17:11 chapter. So you have the blood poured with the running water, and that is spiritually, right? Verse 7. And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field. Meaning you kill the one bird, and then you let the other bird go free like a scapegoat, and that is equivalent to the scapegoat in Leviticus 16 chapter. And you can read about the scapegoat when you lay the sins upon one, and you take a strong man and you let the other one go free. So one of them are killed of Israel, and the other one is left loose, right? That's verse 8. Verse 8, and he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. Right, meaning this has to be done to cleanse you, to wash his clothes and shave off his hair. Now in the modern day, like Michael Jackson, they say he have vitiligo, and that is a form of leprosy, and some brothers might have a so-called birthmark, but it's not really a birthmark, and it's leprosy, and leprosy was common in the ancient time. Right. Let's go to Numbers 12. All right, 12 and 3. Let's talk about this leprosy. All right. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Miriam. Okay, getting leprosy. This is Numbers 12 and 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. Verse 4, and the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and Aaron, unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye 3 unto the tabernacle of the congregation, and they 3 came out. Meaning the Lord told all 3 of them to come out because they were getting on Moses because he married an Ethiopian woman. Right, let's first just jump down to verse 9. And the anger, Slucky, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. Verse 10, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became lepers, Slucky, white as snow. And Aaron looked it upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous, right? Meaning the Lord ascended up in the chariot, and Miriam became leprous. So a true leprous, you are white as snow, and Miriam was a dark-skinned woman of the tribe of Levi. But leprous is when your skin is discolored and turn white as snow, and it might start off with a patch, because you have 4 types of leprosy. And you have leprosy in the skin, hair, clothes, and in the house, and them are 4 forms of leprosy, and they all have to be treated in different manners, right? Okay, let's go to Exodus 4 and 6, okay? Let's talk about Moses, all right? This is Exodus 4 and 6, okay? How he came leprosy as the Most High showing him, okay? Let's put his hand in his bosom, okay? Exodus 4 and 6, okay? Exodus 4 and 6, okay? Exodus 4 and 6, all right? And the Lord, Slucky, and the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow, right? Meaning it is showing you that when you are leprous, it's like you have leprosy, they are as white as snow, like the albinos, and you know they are so-called black, but they look like snowmen, right? Verse 7. Verse 7, and he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned it again as his other's flesh. As his other flesh, right? Meaning that is a miracle to see your hand turn back to its original color, brown like the rest of his body, right? Let's go to Genesis 4 and 14. Okay, let's talk about Cain. Genesis 4 and 14. Cain got leprosy. Okay, that's Genesis 4 and 14, okay? Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Meaning Canaan, meaning Cain knows his punishment, and knew he would not have any mercy or blessing or anything from the Lord evermore. And Esau is a fugitive and a vagabond. He is in every country to see what he can steal, because he has no home, and his home is the Caucasus Mountains in Mount Seir. And everyone that findeth me shall slay me, because everyone had dark skin back then. Right. Let's go to verse 15. Okay, verse 15. And the Lord, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slay Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him shall kill him. Meaning the Lord had to physically set a mark upon Cain to let everyone know who this man was. And he couldn't be touched until he be brought forth on a deeper level to be killed. So the Lord changed the Cain complexion. So no matter where Cain go on the earth, and you will be able to know that this man is Cain, right? Let's go back to Numbers. All right. 12 and 11. Okay. Verse number 12 and 11. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned it. All right. So, alas, meaning damn, like damn. You know what I mean? So when Aaron saw what the Lord did to Miriam, and Aaron said, Alas, lay not the sin upon us, we have done foolishly, and we have sinned it. Verse 12, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother womb. Meaning that reminds you of Esau, and Esau came out looking half dead, and Aaron saw Miriam and said she looked half dead, and her flesh was consumed, and that was the thing back then, and that is showing you that was a common thing. Go to Genesis 25 and 25. Right, go to Genesis 25 and 25, the classic, okay? All right. Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like in hairy garment, and they called it his name Esau. Right. Esau in the Hebrew mean he is wasted, and Esau is a dead man, have consumed it, walking around. Right. Let's go back to Numbers 12 and 12, okay? Number 12 and 12. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother womb. Meaning Esau is a dead man, have consumed it. Right. Verse 13. And Moses cried it unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O Yahweh, I beseech thee. Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. Right, meaning having leprosy and looking like that is equivalent to Yahweh spitting in your face. So that's not a beautiful thing that the Edomites looking like that, and the Most High compared it to him spitting in your face. And also in the ancient world, the father will spit in his daughter's face when she was going off. Right. Verse 15, and Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed it not till Miriam was brought in again. Meaning, so having leprosy is the same thing as the Most High, our Creator, looking at you and spitting in your face. And also when they had leprosy and they were put out of the camp like an outcast. Right. Let's go back to Leviticus 14 and 9. Okay, Leviticus 14 and 9. Leviticus 14 and 9. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes also. He shall wash his flesh in water, and be slacky, and he shall be clean. Verse 10. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 he lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3 tenth deals of fine flour for a meat offering, mingled it with oil, and 1 log of oil. Verse 11. And the priest that maketh him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Meaning the priest is acted on behalf as like a modern day doctor through this the remedy, through the sacrifices and through these statutes to make sure this man is healed of his leprosy. Right? Verse 12. And the priest shall take one he lamb and offer him for a trespass offering and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. Verse 13. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. Right, meaning he has to do the sin offering and the wave offering. Right, verse 14. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. Meaning that's all spiritually too. Your right hand, right toe, and right ear, the blood of the Lord. So even though that will happen to the priest, and that happened to Aaron and his sons, and Moses would take the blood and put on a right toe, which is symbolic for your walk in the Lord, and your right ear is your mind, symbolic for your mind receive the Lord, and then your right hand is symbolic for your action by doing the work of the Most High. So now he has been cleansed on a physical level, but also on a spiritual level, and he has been revived to serve the Most High. And he is allowed within the camp again after the process. Right. Let's go to Sirach 38, okay? All right, let's go to Sirach 38 and 1. Sirach 38 and 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord had created him. Right, meaning you got to honor the use of the physician, and that is a serious thing to have upon you, leprosy. So you got to make sure you bring what you need to do the offering for the Lord, and you can show up to the priest empty-handed, and you can show up before the Lord empty-handed. Right. Verse 2. For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. Verse 3. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. Right, meaning seeing a man who was plagued with leprosy one day, and then the Lord had him to go to the priest, and the priest mixed the blood with the water of the blood, of the bird, and he sprinkled it on, and then come back, and that is an honorable thing to see. And the priests were well known and admirable amongst all Israel. That is why they had to be in the suburbs, and you don't put anyone in the suburbs. Right. Okay, let's go to class. Proverbs 3 and 31. Proverbs 3 and 31. All right, Proverbs 3 and 31. All right, envy thou not the oppressor, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. meaning don't envy the oppressor and choose none of his ways, and bleach yourself with the bleaching cream to give you yourself leprosy and look like them Edomites, like them celebrities like Little Kim, Sammy Sosa, etc., right? Let's go to Esther 8 and 6. All right. This is Esther 8 and 6. Okay. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come upon my people, or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindreds? Okay. Of my kindred, right. Esther hated them Edomites, and she hated Haman, and she called him the adversary, and that is Satan, and Esther called him the devil, right? Verse 7. Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged it upon the gallows, because he laid his hands upon the Jews. Right. Meaning Esther is the one who asked for these Edomites to be lynched, and that was our mentality back then. And she said, lynch these devils, the 10 sons of Haman. And today our women don't have that mentality. And if we say we are going to lynch them Edomites, and our people will freak out and start cooning and try to save them, and just like they did in slavery, right? Okay, let's go to 2 Maccabees 4 and 9. Second Maccabee 4 and 9. Okay. All right. Right. Because our people are coons, okay? Right. They don't have that mentality. All right. Let's go to it. The second Maccabee 4 and 9. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians. Right. Meaning a gem. And just like today, and you have these jakes that want to represent Babylon so damn bad and go to these Edomite colleges and put on their suits and ties and put their nose in the air, and them sell out jakes, have them shackles on their feet in their mind, and don't even know it or care about it, because they think they made it in this society. And listen to them Edomites, and you made them Edomites as a god. Right. Verse 10. Which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish. It's like a Greekish fashion, right? Meaning our people today are into Greek fashion and dress like them and talk and walk like them, etc., right? Verse 11. And the royal privileges granted a special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Epolymus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity, and aid he took away, and putting down the governments which were according to the law, he brought up new customs against the law. Right, meaning the new custom against the law are homosexual, Eve blonde her hair, and be a whore like them Edomites, etc. And that is what's going on today, right? Right. Verse 12. For he built gladly a place of of exercise, like under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. Verse 13. Okay, now such was the height of Greek fashions, and an increase of heathenish manners, through the seething profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest. Verse 14. That the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened it to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise, after the game of the cuss, discuss, called it them forth. Okay, meaning the priest didn't care anymore once this Greek fashion and Greek mythologist lifestyle came, and the priest threw away the law and wanted to do what the Edomites was doing, and that is what our people are doing today, and throwing away our laws and following them Edomites customs. All right, in Babylon, right? Let's go to Matthew 8:1. Okay. Go to Matthew 8:1. All right, Matthew 8:1. Okay, it's Matthew 8:1. When he was come down from the mountains, a great multitude followed him. Verse 2. And behold, there came a leper, and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt thou canst make me clean. Meaning, Yahshua represent everything, and he is the high priest. He is the lamb, the tabernacle, and he is everything that you need in the law, that is going to purge away your sins and your sacrifice. Okay, let's go to Nahum 3:1. All right. Nahum 3:1. Okay. Woe. Okay. What is woe? Okay. Woe is death and destruction. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. Meaning, this Babylon is full of lies and robbery. And robbed us from our integrity, our self-love, our heritage. Right. Verse 4. Drop down to verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress, witchcrafts, that selted nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Meaning, the well-favored harlot is Babylon the Great, and these Edomites taught us what the image of beauty is, like fake boobs or booty, blonde hair, etc., and everything is backwards, and that is the witchcraft that them Edomites have been tricking us since we were young, and see women on TV and want to have one of them women, or Eve want to be like them on TV, and not knowing them women having fake boobs part on them, and it's selling nation, because a whore bring a man to a piece of bread, and that's what happened to our men, and getting robbed and getting seduced and getting exploited. And this is the witchcraft that we have to deal with. Right. Verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Meaning, the Lord is against the witchcraft, the wickedness, and all that Babylon does, and exposing the Edomites in front of everyone. Right. Let's go to Revelation. All right, 17 and 1. Let's talk about it. All right. It's Revelation 17:1. And there, it's like, and there came one of the seven angels which had these seven veils, and talked it with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right. Meaning the reason our people do that is because there are no solid Israelite families, and our mother now is the whore, and that is a spiritual old Edomite raising us, and she is a whore, and we have been given to the great whore. And look how the father raised us compared to how the whore raised it us. And with the father raised it us, we think different, we walk different, we move different, and we talk different. So this show you the instruction, and even on a spiritual or carnal level, having the proper guidance in your house. Right. Let's go to Ezekiel. Okay. Ezekiel 16 and 44, right? 16 and 44. This is Ezekiel 16:44. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Right. Meaning, if the mother is the whore and the daughter is off, and how do you think we are going to be raised up in Babylon, and we will be going off, and when the mother get drunk, and what you think was going to happen to us, and we are going to be drunk off of the wine, and the mother whore deals with the other nations. It's like with the other with the other nation, and that's why our people deal with other nations, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Right. Let's go to Sirach. Okay. Let's go to Sirach 30 and 4. Sirach 30 and 4. All right. Sirach 30 and 4. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he had left one behind him that is like himself. Right. Meaning that's different right there, when you are being raised up by the Father, and you just like the Heavenly Father, and not in term of power and knowledge, but in term of righteousness, compared to when you were raised by a whore, and you will move just like a damn whore, because you are committing all types of spiritual fornication. Right. Okay. Let's go back to it. Leviticus. Let's go to Leviticus 13 and 29. All right. Let's talk about, this is the leprosy of the head. All right. Leviticus 13 and 29. Leviticus 13 and 29. This is Leviticus 13 and 29. All right. If a man or a woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scald, even a leprous upon the head or beard. Meaning yellow thin hair is leprosy. And our people got leprosy because they are putting that blonde hair in their head and trying to look like them lepers, blonde Edomites. And Eve and Jake are bleaching their skin and hair and trying to look like them Edomites. So if it's a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. Right. Let's go to Isaiah 3 and 16. Right. Isaiah 3 and 16, okay? All right. Let's talk about Eve, all right? Let's talk about Eve, all right? Isaiah 3 and 16. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion, like are haughty, and walk with stretched forth the necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tingling with their feet. Right, meaning the daughter of Zion walking like they don't stink, and they are on top of the world in Babylon, and they give you the wanton eyes and stern at you up and down. Right, verse 17. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughter of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. Right, meaning Eve want to be hardy and be seen, and want every man to chase after them, and now the Lord going to make her bald. Right, that's why Eve is bald-headed right now, to make her bald and put a scab in her head. And we are finding out that a lot of women having stinky secret parts because of the whoredom and the haughtiness of the Israelite women. Right. Okay. Verse 18. Okay. Verse 18. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tingling slacky ornaments about their feet, and their cowls slacky, and their round tires like the moon. All right, meaning the Lord going to take away Eve Gucci and expensive jewelry, and the Lord is going to diminish that ornament about their feet, meaning when Eve say you can't afford me, or she will say you are not on my level, or you have to have 6 figures to get with me. Right. Verse 19, okay, the chains, and the bracelets and the muffler. Verse 20, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets, and the earrings. Verse 21, the rings and nose jewelry. 22, the changeable suit of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins. Right, meaning all the shoes you got in your car that you don't wear, and all the clothes. Right. 23, the glasses and the fine lining, and the hoods and the veils. Right. 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Right, meaning Eve would be stinky, and their hair would be baldness, and now they pay $250 for a wig. Right, that's why Eve, she got a bald head now. Okay, right, right. She hardy with a stick, a forked neck like an ostrich. Right. Anyway, all right. Let's stay on Eve. Okay. All right. Let's go Jeremiah 6 and 2. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the daughter of Zion. All right. Jeremiah 6 and 2, okay? I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman, meaning Eve have to be a delicate woman and not be hard like a man. Can't be hard like a damn man, okay? Right. Let's go Jeremiah 4 and 30, all right? Jeremiah 4 and 30. Okay, Jeremiah 4 and 30. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothes thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornament of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shall thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, days, lucky they will seek thy life. Right, meaning when everyone is in their prosperity and they have money, clothes, cars, etc., and they don't want to pray and they don't think they need the Lord now. But when you get spoiled, and what are you going to do then? And you might, and you might deck yourself with ornament, with bracelet and rings and nose ring, and in the ring and in the ears and ankles bracelet, and you might put all of that painting on your face, and that's what Eve do, and they putting that makeup on and putting a lot of it on their face like they are beating their self up, and that is vain because it's about your spirit, and the Lord will give you over to a spoil. Right. Let's go to 2 King. All right, 9:30. 2 King 9:30. All right, let's talk about how Jezebel, how she painted her face. Okay, all right, putting that makeup on. All right, 2 King 9:30. And when Jehu was come to Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face and tired it her head and looked it out at a window. Right, meaning Jezebel was married and she is a heathen woman, and she painted her face and tied up her hair, and she looked it out the window, and being promiscuous and looking at Jake, and these are the heathen customs, and not of the righteous daughter of Zion. Right. Let's go back to let's go to Leviticus 13:30. Okay, Leviticus 13:30. Leviticus 13:30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow, thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scald, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. Right, meaning all these celebrities, Jakes has leprosy with their blonde hair and beards, and Eve as well, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean. 31. And if the priest look on the plague of the scald, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that had the plague of the skull 7 days. Right, meaning they got to look at it and see if this thing is going to spread or not, and look and see if it deeper than the skin. So if it's not any black hair in it, and the priest has to shut up him that had the plague of the scale 7 days. Right, 32. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the scale spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scale be not in sight deeper than the skin, meaning they have to give him 7 days, because hopefully it doesn't spread, and it kind of mitigate, and it's shut down. Right. Verse 33. He shall be shaved, but the skull shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut up him that had the skull 7 days more. 34. Verse 34. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the skull, and behold, if the skull be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. Verse 35. But if the skull spread much in the skin after his cleansing, meaning he's unclean, right? He's unclean. All right, let's go back to Leviticus 14 and 33. Leviticus 14 and 33, okay. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, verse 34, when ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession. Meaning the Lord put the leprosy on you, and the Lord even put a spirit on you to give yourself leprosy with that bleaching your skin, and the Lord made you to do that, and made you to get that blonde hair so you can be put to death. And it is 1,000 ways to die, and the Most High will make you choose one. If you are not the elect, and some are going to love their oppressor, or some going to die by being a murderer or a homosexual, etc. And the Lord put them demons on you to get you out of the way, and the Lord put leprosy in your house as well, right? Verse 35. And read that again. Verse 35, and he that owned it the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemed to me there is as it were a plague in the house. Meaning that is equivalent to mold and mildew in your house, and you have to tell the priest about it, right? Verse 36. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be made unclean, and afterwards the priest shall go in to see the house. Meaning you have to take all your furniture out, and this is equivalent for your house getting inspected before the priest go into it to see the plague, and people have to be removed. Otherwise it will spread, and things have to be removed, because it could start on the wall, and then it might go on the ceiling and onto another room. So you have to check it while you can, and you got to cut it off before it spread, right? Verse 37. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strikes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall. Right? Meaning you see that in your house, greenish or reddish, and you have to look for details, for it can be mitigated before it spread, and priest has to check this thing. And even on a spiritual level, and we are in house, and you have to make sure we don't have any plagues inside of you, and we have to look diligently inside. And you can't say, I am just looking, and you just leave, and you might miss a spot. And we all might have spots and blemish within our house, and it is up to us to inspect it and to see what inside of us, and cause us to be separated from the Most High. Right. Verse 38. Verse 38. Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. Meaning break it down. It's like you break it down on a spiritual level as well. And you might find a plague within yourself, and you may be slothful or have a lustful spirit or spirit of envy or whatever you are dealing with. And then you notice that it is there, and now you have the 7 days on a carnal level. And why did the priest give him this house 7 days, this physical house? That means ultimately for completion, but what the practical purpose, and they want to see if this thing going to spread or not while no one is in it. So they shut it up 7 days, and they are going to go in there 7 days later and see if this thing has spread or not, but no one can be in there to see if it's going to spread. So they are going to shut it down, and on a spiritual level you might find a plague within yourself, and you have time to get right and get your spirit right. Verse 39. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house. Meaning they came again, and the plague is all over the house. And think about it on a spiritual level, and you got a plague in your house, and you see it there, and you have time to repent, and the plague is spreading. And let's see what happened if the plague spread on a physical level. On the next verse, right, verse 40. Then verse 40. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stone in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. Right. Without the city. Meaning to take away the stone, and we are like the stone, and it might be one stone with the plague on it. And if you don't take that one stone away, and that's going to spread to the other stone, and we are all stones. And if one brother have a plague on him, meaning leaven, and we have to remove that brother, because it might infect the entire body. Right. Let's go to 1 Peter 2 and 3. All right. 1 Peter 2 and 3. First Peter 2 and 3. So it's like, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Verse 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed it indeed of men, but chosen of Yahweh and precious. Right. Disallowed it indeed of men, meaning the men rejected the Lord. Right. Okay. Verse 5. Okay. Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahushua Mashiach. Okay, meaning we are like to them lively stones, and we have been quickened through the Holy Spirit. So if you are one of the stones in the temple that is chipped it off or broken, or have blemish on it, or you have all these stains and streaks on you, and the Lord is going to get rid of you, and the Most High is not going to let his temple be defiled, and the Most High is not a respected person, and that stone has a plague on it, and remove that stone to save the house. Right. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 5 and 6. Okay. 1 Corinthians 5 and 6. All right. Let's talk about that leaven. All right. 1 Corinthians 5 and 6. Your glorying is not good, not knowing ye not that a little leaven leavened it, the whole lump, right? Meaning it might be a small green spot in your house, and if you ignore that and turn a blind eye to that green spot, and don't be surprised when that green spot is all over the wall, and you have to check it and take it seriously, and a little leaven the whole lump. So we have to be careful and examine these matters, and we have to check to see if we have spots on us, because the Lord can remove any one of us in this thing, and you could be plaguing the house and troubling the camp and bringing them demons around the camp and cast a lot to see who the lot fall on, and it might fall on a brother, and ask him, brother, what are you doing behind the dark? And he telling everyone he's committing adultery and he's unclean. So them brothers have to get rid of that brother so you can save the brotherhood, right? Let's go 1 Peter 5 and 7. 1 Peter 5 and 7, okay? It's 1 Peter 5 and 7. Casting all your care upon him, for he cared it for you. Right, meaning you have to purge out the old leaven. And it means to cleanse thoroughly when you look it up in the Greek, and to get rid of it, for you can be a new lump, and you are unclean. And you are unleavened. Right. Matthew 5 and 29. Matthew 5 and 29. Okay. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Right. Meaning the Most High said, pluck it out, whatever you are lusting after, and it could be pride or stubbornness or hatred, fornication, etc., and whatever it is, and you have to check that thing at the door and pluck it out and get rid of it. And you don't want these things to grow, because that will be your downfall when you didn't repent or go on that fast, and it could spread up to 7 demons to overtake you, and you will fall out the truth. Right. Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Okay, meaning cut off your right hand, meaning your pride or stubbornness, etc. And a lot of men are going to be cast into destruction because they don't want to cut off the things that they admire the most, that they feel like they need, right? Okay, let's go to Psalm 51 and 7. Psalms 51 and 7, okay? This song was, okay. This Psalm 51:7. Purge me with hypso, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be withered, than snow. Meaning, we have to ask the Lord to purge us, and being purged isn't fun all the time, and it's going to hurt, and you are up scrolling on your phone and looking at your IG or porn, but you have to fight it, and you have to purge yourself like hypso. It's like a hypso. It's like, and you will be clean when the Lord purges you. And the thing you were doing before you came into this truth, the Lord purged that out of you, and now you have no desire for it. Right? So, wash me, and that is what the Lord told the people who had leprosy to go and wash yourself in the water. And the Lord is washing you and getting those icky Babylon sins that you got on your body. Right. Verse 8. Verse 8, make me, Slunky, make me to hear joy and gladness that the bones of which thou hast broken may rejoice. Verse 9, hide, Slunky, hide thy face from my sins, Slunky, and blot out all my iniquities. Verse 9, Slunky. Verse 10, create, Slunky, create in me, Slunky, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Right, meaning if you are the plague in your house and it doesn't come out, and what do you got to do to that house? And you have to destroy it, and everyone who come into this truth, and you got destroyed. You got Slunky, and you got destroyed it and brought down to your lowest point. For the Lord can create you a new heart, and the Lord isn't dealing with a proud man, and you have to be on a base low level, for the Lord can build you up, and that is building you a new heart after you have been washed with hypso, and making you more tried and refined in gold, and now you are getting built up again. Right. Let's go Joshua 7:3. Joshua 7:3. Okay. Right. And they returned it to Joshua and said unto him, let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. Meaning they wanted to destroy Ai, and it was a small city, and why waste the manpower to send 10,000 men and just send a few men and let them cut them down? Right. Verse 4. So there went up thither the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. Meaning they sent about 3,000 men to take down the city, and our people fled before them Hamites. Verse 5. And the men of Ai smote them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them. And the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. Meaning we got killed by some dirty, stinky Hamites, and our people got put to flight and put to death as we went to war. And before this time there was no loss and no casualties amongst our army, as we went to destroy the 7 nations of the Canaanites. And during this time people died, and Joshua was praying to the Most High and asking what was going on, and why is this happening, and why is our people dying, and why is it a plague in the camp? Right. Drop down to verse 10. Okay. And the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Verse 11, Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled it also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Right, meaning Israel has secret sins going on, and the entire congregation being affected by one individual that sinned it, and it will tell you in the next verse. Right, verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except ye destroy the accursed from among you. Meaning the Lord won't be with any of us because of one brother transgressed, and that was very selfish and wicked to move in that type of spirit, and we have to destroy the accursed among you, or the Lord wouldn't be with you anymore, and you might go to camp and no one is listening, and we keep dealing with scoffers, and you are saying what's going on, and the Lord isn't with us if we have a cursed thing in the camp. Right, verse 13. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourself against tomorrow, for thus said the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you. Right. Meaning the Lord said you can't stand before your enemies until you remove the accursed thing. Right. Drop down to verse 18. Okay. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. Meaning they found out who did it, and it was Achan from the tribe of Judah. Verse 19. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord Yahweh of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. Okay? Meaning that is why it is very important to confess your fault, and you still holding on to a secret sin, and it can be healed through a confession, and you wonder why your house is out of order, and plagues in your camp or house or health diminishing, or things keep happening to you because you are not giving the Most High the glory by confessing your sin. And that is one way to give God, Yahweh, glory. And you don't have to go out there and shake the hand mighty to give the Most High the glory, or read or study for 30 hours to give the Most High the glory, but simply confessing your fault and saving yourself and your household from destruction is to give the Most High the glory. Right. Verse 20. And Achan answered Joshua and said, Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord Yahweh of Israel, and thus have I done. Meaning Achan said to Joshua, I went off. Verse 21. When I saw among the spoil a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. A Babylonish garment, meaning a t-shirt, and 36 men died because of Achan. Right, one to steal a shirt. So a Babylonian garment, that's a literally thing, but it's equivalent now to a spiritual level Babylonian garment, and that is a sin, hatred, doctrine, understanding of the other nation, and that is their garment. That the doctrine they used it to expose, to cover to cover your nakedness. And he wanted the heathen garment, and he is a Judite, and the Most High have been taking care of him and winning battles, and he fell away lusting over a heathen garment and gold, and he hid it, and he didn't tell anyone. Right. Go verse 24. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver and the garment and the wedge of gold, and his sons and his daughters, and his oxen and his asses and his sheep and his tent and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Achor, meaning they took Achan and the silver and the garment and his sons and his daughters and his oxen, etc., etc. Verse 25. Let's see what happened to him. Okay. To his whole family and oxen, sheep, and everything, right? And verse 25, and Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones and burnt them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. Meaning a brother might be trouble us as a nation of today. And Achan died, and everything else, his sons and his daughters, sheep, oxen, etc., etc., and they stoned him and burned them with fire. Right. So let's go back to Leviticus 14. All right. 14 and 39. All right. Leviticus 14 and 39. And the priest shall come again the seventh day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, meaning it is an equivalent to give this man time to get his spirit right, but his actual house will be shut off for 7 days. Verse 40. Then the priest shall command that they that take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. Meaning everybody is going to die without the city if you are not in this truth, that you are not amongst the children of Israel and spiritually Jerusalem on a heavenly level, then you are going to be destroyed. And then take this stone and cast them out of the city. Right. Let's go to Revelation 14 and 20. Revelation 14 and 20. Okay. All right. This is Revelation 14 and 20. Okay. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlong. Right. Meaning without the city, and that is everyone that is not the elect, and that's not literally there. There is blood everywhere outside of the city of Jerusalem, and no, it is speaking about us as a people, and we are the city. So if you are not part of the elect, and you will be destroyed, and blood was cast without the city, and the same thing as the stones being cast without the city in the law. And blood came out of the winepress, meaning it's a lot of bloodshed without the city. And you don't want to be one of the stones without the city, because you are going to be destroyed. Right. Let's go back to Leviticus 14 and 40. Leviticus 14 and 40. Okay, this is Leviticus 14 and 40. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. Right, cast them into an unclean place without the city, meaning if he unclean, he is fit to be with the unclean, and you have all these demons on you, and send him back into the world. Right, verse 41. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. Right, meaning let's scrape that leprosy off on the house and take the dust and throw it out of the city, and they are clean the house. Right, verse 42. And they, Slunky, and that 42, Slunky, and they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar, Slunky, and shall plaster the house. Right, and take other stones, meaning the Lord don't need us, and this is spiritually, and the Lord can get rid of us and take other stones, and it's so many people fall out the truth, and the Lord take other stones and replace them when they fall out of the truth. So when a stone get removed and the Lord have to take another stone and put it in there, shall plaster the house, meaning to seal them, to seal the stone in the building. And this is on a spiritual level, but this also happened physically, but we also breaking it down on a spiritual level as well. Right, 43. And if, Slunky, and if the plague come again and break out in the house after that, he had taken away the stones, and after he has scraped it the house, and after it is plastered it. Verse 44. Then, Slunky, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house. It is unclean, meaning you might replace the stone and the house still has leprosy in it, and you give a guy a chance to repent and let him get his spirit right and place a stone and he still can get right. It is a fretting leprosy in the house. It is unclean, meaning that's like they are reprobate, and that is the spiritual fretting leprosy. Right, 45. And he, Slunky, and he shall break down the house, the stone of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, Slunky, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Right, meaning the Lord shall break down the house, and no more giving the house a chance to get right, and no more placing stones and letting it scrape it shut and shut it off for 7 days. And he said, just break the house and you can't do nothing with it, and it's no good, and we can't heal it, so destroy it. The timber and mortar of the house shall be carried them forth out of the city into an unclean place, meaning, and that is a deep on a spiritual level, total destruction. The stones of wood, timbers, and don't leave it there, and put it in the unclean place, and put it without the city. Right, see how Most High represent us. This house is spirit, means physical and it's spiritually. Okay, that's stone. All right, verse 46. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up. Let me read that again. Verse 46. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean unto the evening. Right, meaning on a spiritual level, demons will hop on you if you go into a house while it is shut up and be be unclean until the evening. For example, if a brother commit adultery and the other brother want to go hang out with him because he got removed from the camp, and the brother went over his house and them demons hop on that brother, and now he is bugged out. So it is very important to keep yourself from the unclean thing, right? So that's your Leviticus 14 chapter, right? Dealing with various form of leprosy, okay? Because, like I say, got leprosy physically in the house, and this is spiritually, okay? So anyway, I hope it was edifying. These laws, just come try to keep bringing these laws out, all right? The milk, so-called Black, Latino, Native American, Seminole Indians is not coming to true. Y'all been in it probably about 5 to 7 months, something like that, and hey, y'all learned about not breaking the Sabbath. No, not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. It's more laws than that, okay? You just gotta give you 5 or 6 of them in the beginning, let y'all work on it. And after that, y'all gotta go grab some pencil, some paper at Dollar Tree. Y'all gotta start writing these laws down, okay? You gotta start writing these laws down. This milk, the milk is the law, okay? Right. So then y'all gotta just practice them, just go over them. You know what I mean? Just go over them, all right? Write them down, write the lesson down, okay? All right. But anyway, hope this was edified. I want to give it honor and glory to Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shah. Shalom.